So South Africa, the day one has been called off basically, the rest of day one at least, after bad light stopped play. And we're going to be talking about day one and the South Africa's performance today and how things went from a South African perspective in this first test so far. So that's what the show is obviously going to be about. It is the review show of the first test day one at Centurion. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers and we're getting closer and closer. So please help us get there, guys. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description as well. And we've also launched something very exciting recently, and that is the Cricket Fanatics magazine Business Corner. Very important that you guys get involved with this and send this to as many businesses that you know. Why did we start the Business Corner? Well, we've set up the Business Corner to help you market your business, products, and services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. If you want to market to a cricket audience cheaply and effectively, then we are the only viable option for you around to do so. So please get involved with that. Please send it to as many people as you can. The link is also as well as on the screen right now, as well as in the description. So please help me out by sharing this with as many people as you possibly can. It really will help out the channel. It will help us out here with everything that we are doing. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing it. A very good afternoon, evening, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And this is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with day one between South Africa and India. So now I've made a title called Strong Day One. Now, I'm going to give some context to that because I think that for the neutral, it was a strong day one. I think it was a good day for Test cricket as a whole. And as a fan of Test cricket, I think it was the perfect type of situation where the conditions weren't that favorable for the batters. So it was a good toss, I think, to win, but it was also a good recovery from South Africa. I mean, from India in this particular match. So now let me get you into the idea of what took place in this particular match and the reasons for certain things that happened. So what happened in South Africa in the toss is it was raining throughout the region, Johannesburg Centurion region, yesterday. I did in my preview show mention that it was going to be affected by that day one. The regional reports, weather reports, indicated that it might rain today actually, and that there wouldn't be much play. But fortunately enough, the day did clear up and there was a game. But what happened was that the pitch was covered and sweating a little bit, of course. So it was a little bit damp underneath the covers. And they only took it off the morning and started rolling. But the roller didn't have its normal effect that it would have on a Centurion wicket. So what ended up happening is there was still a lot of moisture in the pitch, some overcast conditions as well, which actually favored South Africa, but not from a swing perspective, from a movement of the pitch perspective. South Africa got a good start to the innings. They removed Rohit Sharma, KG, getting the first wicket of the day. And they stuck to a certain lines and lengths where a lot of wobble seam was effective from the likes of Nandre Berger, but they allowed the ball to do its talking off the pitch. So the ball would come in, bounce off, take off the surface and move around accordingly. And the wobble seam would also make it difficult for the batters to be able to read which way it was going to go. So they stuck to relatively shorter lengths and they moved it away from the batter for a majority of the time. And then suddenly one or two into the batters. But it was a ball that was a little bit shorter, playing into Rohit Sharma's stronger area for the pull shot that got him out. It was an unexpected delivery from KG Rabada that kind of forced Rohit Sharma to try and get his runs with one of his favorite shots. And he ended up finding Berger on debut at fine leg. Then South Africa continued to take wickets. Nande Berger came in on his debut, bowled beautifully to Jaiswal for 17. It was then 23 for 2 after 9.4 overs. Then it was 24 for 3, with Shabnam Gill losing his wicket to Berger as well. Then there was a little bit of consolidation between Virat Kohli and Suresh Iyer after being dropped. Both batters getting dropped early in the innings and then going on to score decent runs. Both got 30s in this match. So first and foremost, we had uh, Shabnam Gill, who was removed by Nande Berger, like I said. Then Suresh Iyer was removed, and he was removed by Rabada, bowled beautifully. And then Virat Kohli was the next to fall, 107 for 5 after 30.6. And it was that man Rabada again who bowled beautifully to dismiss Virat Kohli. Then it was 121 for 6 after 34.6 overs. And it was Ashwin that was dismissed for Rabada's fifth. Rabada's fourth. And then next, it was 164 for 7. And Thakur lost his wicket to Rabada for his fifth. And that completed his fifer. But then South Africa kind of let the game slip a bit. They allowed India to get back into the match, find some runs, and they got themselves to 191 for 6. 191 for 8, until Jansen bowled Jasprit Bumrah. And furthermore, they allowed KL Rahul to do more damage. And what ended up happening was Rahul got 70 not out, and they finished the day on 208 for 8 after 59 overs were bowled. And then bad light stopped play, and we never saw more game time for the rest of the day. So South Africa are in a decent position, I would say, because of what might happen tomorrow. Now, we need to remember that we were hoping, obviously, to bowl India out while the conditions still suited us. But I think 208 for 8 is actually a decent position for India. They are sitting in a situation where the pitch will probably dry out a bit more tomorrow when it's a lot more sunny and hot. I think it's predicted to be about 33 degrees tomorrow. So the pitch will bake, and it will cause some. But let me just double check that because no, there's rain tomorrow in Centurion. So if I look at the weather report over here, it's raining throughout the day. We might have some stop-start play tomorrow, but the conditions will still favor the bowlers, I think. But the stop and start rain might cause an issue. So this game could be affected by rain throughout the series. I mean, on Friday as well, there's rain predicted. So it will be stop start again on Friday. Maybe only one period of time during the afternoon, during tea, around about that time, it will rain again. But with a little bit of drizzles throughout, probably. So this game is going to be affected by rain. So I think from a neutral perspective, it was a strong day one because of the way India fought and the way India came back into the game. So overall, I think it was quite a strong day of Test cricket. There is, though, a terrible incident that took place during the game, and that was obviously Temba Bavuma. Now, we were updated about Temba, saying that he would undergo a medical evaluation to determine his participation in the match. The scans revealed a left hamstring strain. So that could be him out of the series, actually, in fact, and out of this test match. So that will cause a lot of issues for South Africa. The second test, we'll probably see another debutant probably perhaps come in. So that is an issue. South Africa won't have him in this particular match, in the remainder of this match, most likely. So that will mean that we are kind of, to an extent, lucky that we played the extra batter, because now we can at least bat with six. And then our all rounders, because Temba Bavuma's unavailability for this match is going to cause some problems for us in general. So that's the summary of the match so far and what has taken place. I must say that I'm very happy for KG, and I'm very happy that KG, after an injury layoff and some time off, came in here firing. We've been wanting KG to be the main guy and step up and be the senior guy that we know he is. And he showed that today. He showed who he is. He showed his ability, and he was the key wicket taker, taking out majority of all India's top guys: Rohit Sharma, um, Virat Kohli, Suresh Iyer, all taken by Kagiso Rabada. So a very, very important and top performance from him. 5 for 44 after 17 overs. To see him bowl 17 overs as well is fantastic. To see him fit again and that he is okay. So that is a massive boost for South Africa. Now the other bowlers, I think they bowl decently actually. Um, Contrary to popular belief at the moment. Marco Jansen bowled 15 overs, 1 for 52, an economy of 3.46. Nandri Berger 2 for 50, 3 for 30, 300, 3.33 economy rate. Gerald Coetzee was quite expensive, 0 for 53 in his 12 overs, 4.41 economy rate. But Kagiso Rabada, obviously the pick of the bowlers. But we want to see a little bit more consistency from our bowlers and making the batters play a lot more. That is something that we would like to obviously witness from a South African standpoint. I would like to see them test the batters a lot more, put more pressure on them, etc. So that's the match situation that we found ourselves in. That's what took place on day one. So let me get into the live chat and see what you guys have to say. Shubham Gupta says, strong. They have scored a lot in this difficult pitch, and the bowlers, apart from Bada, were very poor. Yeah, I've explained myself on why I said it was a strong day one. We need to be very good in batting tomorrow because India bowlers also going to exploit the conditions at its best. What's your opinion? We are going to have to tough it out. We are going to have to bat properly. We are going to have to be patient for our runs. But as you could see, rain is going to be affecting this match, so we also need to be smart in our approach. We need to be smart in the way that we handle ourselves, and we need to be smart that we don't allow the game to run away from us, um, and we bat at the pace that will keep the runs ticking over, and that it doesn't like completely. We don't go completely defensive as well, where we allow the game to grow pressure on us and grow the pressure on us. Gaurav says this score is too much. Amit says 225 should be enough in first innings against the inexperienced SA batting. SA bowling was poor, barring Rabada. Amit says again, with Bavuma out of the match, SA won't even get 175 in these conditions. Proper noob team. Well, we'll wait and see how we bat, and we'll wait and see how they perform. I have a lot of faith in these batters, and I'm sure Coach Shukri Conrad also does. I'm happy that the likes of David Bedingham is getting an opportunity in this match. He's a nice mix of youth and experience, I feel, in this match, in this particular lineup. Ayanda says, if it wasn't for Rabada, Lord knows where we'd be now. What are other bowlers doing? They are only for participation, says Gaurav. Amit says, South Africa let off India. They will pay for it badly. Match already gone. I think it's too soon to say that the match is already gone. It's literally day one, and we didn't have a full day. We don't know if those last two wickets would have been picked up earlier. We don't know how rain's going to affect this match. So I don't think it's as horrible as people as you guys are making it out to be. To be honest, Ayanda says, just hope our batsmen show grit and guts when they bat on the surface. Guys, remember this is a test match and not a ODI match or 2020 T20 match. It's going to take strategy. It's going to take good technique. It's going to take good tactics to be able to get the advantage in this match. Gora's fielding has been horrible. Yes, the two drop catches were terrible. We have let India score too much runs from 125 for 6 to 208 for 8. When will we learn to get the tail out? Getting the tail out has been a little bit of a problem. Chatil says Janssen was disappointing, Rabada flawless. If India get another 40 or 50, SA are in trouble. It's very key that we utilize the conditions and try to get wickets tomorrow morning early so that we can have the rest of the day to bat. Janssen has been poor recently, needs to get a reality check. Marker has been really bad. Inability to get tail out. It's same in all formats. Leander says next match is arrest Marco and bring in Gidi, then replace the injured Temba with Stubbsy. Navneet says it's only day one, guys. Let's just relax a little bit. We have no idea what's going to happen from a South African point of view and how we're going to perform. So let's just be a little bit, just relax a little bit. We only really let KL Rahul score runs, and he's a damn good batter. And coming in so low down is also something that benefited India. We just need to get the tail out, and we are sorted tomorrow. That's literally what we need to try and do. Marco looks clueless, says Gaurav. My 11: Alga, Markram, Dazorzi, Bedingham, KP, Stubbs, Verena, Maharaj, Rabada, Kutsia, Bergen, and Giri. Navni says, Khalid, bro, do you think Temba will beat in this test? I think that a hamstring it's highly unlikely for a hamstring. If he braves it out, he could bat. Yes, Kani. If he wants to be brave and try it out. We have let India come back into the game. Shouldn't have crossed 200 even. We shouldn't have allowed them to, yes, but unfortunately, that is where we are. India very much in a decent position. Overcast condition again tomorrow. Bar KG, our attack was quite toothless. Nandre, Gerald, and Marco went searching and was all over the place. We need to tighten it up and be a little bit more consistent, yes. I wouldn't say we were terrible, but there needs to be a lot of more improvement from our bowlers with regards to consistency, lines and lengths, etc. Matt 92 says Stubbs in place of Bavuma in the second test. Gaurav says he supports South African cricket. You guys are not talking. If you're an Indian and supporting South Africa, then get lost, my friend, says Anuj. You are nobody to tell me what to do, my friend. Stop fighting, guys, in the live chat. Lawrence says, this might sound harsh, but are we even surprised by Temba injury record? The past 2 years, he's missed out a lot of cricket through injury. During that period, he himself admitted his body is letting him down. It is true. However, Ayanda says, however, I have a feeling the Proteus batsmen get going. India might chase plenty, judging by the fact that Kalru has been untroubled. Now, that's the thing. This pitch is going to get better. It's going to get drier. It's going to get better. And obviously, the rain tomorrow is going to be an issue. So South Africa in that first session is going to have to toughen it out and make sure that they can be gritty and strong and keep their mentality and keep their wickets in hand. They need to be able to toughen it out and stay there in the middle. We know India is going to come with a bowling attack that's going to be accurate and consistent, and that is something that we're going to have to face and battle out. Chatil says, this is what happens when players are stubborn to take fitness tests, and instead saying current fitness will have to do the job. Matt92 says, we wish we didn't drop these 2 catches early on. Yeah, I also wish we didn't, but unfortunately, that is cricket. You get luck. Kani says, what's the reason for Temba to go for a scan? He didn't go for a scan during the World Cup. He went for a scan to see if he can be available for the rest of the testing to see what is actually the issue. Overall, it was a decent performance. Could have been better. We had taken our 2 catches. Marco and Tony dropped sitters. Yes, that's the case. Aruna says, will there be a substitute for Bavuma if he's not able to play? There can't be. It's only for concussions. We have a deeper batting lineup. I still have some hope. And that's what I'm saying, is that luckily we picked the extra batter. If we only picked 6 batters, then we would have been in trouble. My story would have been completely different. Lorenzo says, now scans were important, but when many of us called for him to go for scans during the World Cup, we were told we were obsessed with scans. Agenda from CSA are real. Must not act like CSA are not liars. Chatil says, poor pitch, too much uneven bounce for day one. Centurion last had a decent pitch when SA played Sri Lanka in 2020. Kani says, Nanda should open the bowling with KG next innings, Khalid. Your favorite Marco Jansen has been poor. Marco can be better. He should. He's not my. I wouldn't want to classify people as my favorites, etc. But he bowled. Luckily, what I was impressed with is that the fact that he didn't get a lot of wides today, at least. But I don't think 1 for 52 in 15 overs is as bad as we think. We need to bowl tighter lines and we need to improve. The rest of the bowlers need to improve around KG. That is a fact, and that needs to be the situation going into the next day. I was scared of the drop catch by Tony. Should never drop the king. Captain says KG looking at the top of his game. Chatil says how costly those drops gonna be if Aya Kohli gonna be at least 30 runs, I guess. Well, they're out. So that's not the issue. The drop catches, in my opinion. Yes, we should take them, but it didn't cause us too much problems. We still had them at 121 for 6. The issue is that we allowed KL Rahul to take the game a little bit away from us. Because literally he's the only guy that has scored runs in this game. So we've allowed KL Rahul to slip away a bit. So that's my analysis of the game. I think that we need to take the tail out quickly, and we were on the way to do so. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah went out for one. We had to get Mohammad Siraj out early, and then we in a decent position. I'm not so scared of a 220 score. Keshav says I'm expecting SA to score at least 320. That 92 is if only we could have a runner for Temba if he bats. Because they have inexperienced batting, but all of them have domestic form. I'm not so scared about this team. I think it's a good team that was picked here, and I have belief in them. Macmillan says, my birthday and Isha couldn't win this match on day one. Look how upset the fans are on here that clearly India have won already. That is crazy, Macmillan. It's only day one. Happy birthday, bro, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you're having a lot of fun. Thank you for joining the stream even on your birthday. Lawrence says the wicket ain't that terrible. If batters apply themselves, the runs can be scored. Perfect Alga type wicket. And I'm hoping that Alga can really show us that. Chatil says, this wicket is dangerous, Carly. Don't know why Centurion moved to these minefields instead of traditional test pitches they served pre-2018. It's because of the conditions over yesterday. And that's the reason. If the weather was a lot hotter, the pitch would have baked a bit, the roller would have been in action, and it would have worked a lot better in our favor with regards to the wicket. But I think by batting second, it will help us out a bit, because especially on day 3, there's going to be periods in this match where there's going to be runs on offer on day 2, and we need to take full advantage of that if we can find early wickets tomorrow. Ayanda says, part of me thinks spin will play part in this match, and we don't have a spin in our team. Kani says, Alga 100 loading. Gaurav says, I think you need to attack on the pitch. If you keep defending, then you will get out. Lawrence says, Lungi is missed. This is why I had him in my lineup for the series. He always steps up against India at home. Unfortunate that he wasn't fit for this game. Chatil says, how are we drop catches? Not an issue. They should have been 34 for 5 instead. I didn't say it's not an issue. That's not what I said. What I said specifically was, I said it is bad that we dropped 2 catches, 100%, but it hasn't affected us too badly. I think, with regards to the match situation at that time. Yes, we dropped the 2 catches, but they didn't at that point let the game run away too much from us, right? Not too much. They removed KL Rahul and Aya they didn't allow them to create too much havoc. What we did, though, is we allowed KL Rahul to take the game a little bit away from South Africa on day 1. But we must remember that it's only day 1 and this is a test match. Anuj says India will win the test series as well and finish this historical tour on a high, mark my words. Kani say we always struggle to get the tail out. Yeah, we have had the struggle with that. Lorenzo says Timba will probably miss the SA20 now as well. Hamstring is in pain. Look at KDP out for 6 months now already. Yeah, hamstrings are terrible. This pitch will be unbattable when sun soaks it down. Hmm, I don't necessarily think so, to be honest. Lorenzo, when you go to India, the ball turns square from first session in Test cricket. In fact, sometimes they even open with a spin. So why are we complaining about our pitches? It's our home series, not India's. I don't know why they're complaining about the pitches. I think we have enough batting quality to handle those bowlers. I also do think so. How did you expect this pitch to get better for batting? I do think so. I do think so that on day three that it will. I think by day three it will, which is on Thursday. Um, but the problem over here, obviously, is that, and on Saturday, when South Africa is hopefully going to be chasing down the last on the last day, the problem here is the rain tomorrow and on Friday. So that might cause a little bit of an issue, unfortunately. I think that the pitch will be decent to bat on in patches throughout the game when the sun is out and baking the pitch a little bit. Sarath says this comment is not relevant for ongoing test match. I was just watching Looster play this chap. Looks really good. He can be selected in our T20 squad. He can't because he's eligible to play for England. Lawrence Bailey says, I think there can be a balance as to how we assess our play today. We had India on the ropes and we let them get away. Still don't think it was as terrible as people make it out to be. We just ahead, in my opinion. We just ahead, yes. That's why I said it was a strong day for Test cricket in general, as a neutral. Chatel says even Sean Pollock was saying he hasn't been impressed with the Centurion wickets for 10 years. He mentioned inconsistent bounce early in the yeah, there has been. These pitches haven't been the best as we are used to. Um, but I do think that we had a good wicket though against the West Indies in Centurion. I think it was a decent wicket. Looks really good. Okay, sorry. India will be batting on day three. Um, we don't know that, especially with a rain interruption tomorrow. South Africa could be batting on day three. So I don't know where all of these bold statements are coming from. But if it's going to rain tomorrow, um, the morning, and then the afternoon again, um, and early evening, then South Africa will bat on day three. So I think possibly we are more likely to see a draw, actually, with the weather conditions, if the weather conditions are going to remain as it is predicted on the weather reports. Pollock and Mark Nicholas on commentary said so. Doesn't mean everything that the commentators say is 100% true. I do, though, agree that the wicket hasn't been its best in the last couple of series. South Africa actually lost a couple of matches against. They lost to India here at Centurion on two occasions over the last couple of series. But the one against West Indies was a good one for us. They bowled two straight to Kohli and Iyer for 1 hour before lunch. Those runs will matter at the end of the test. Berger and Kutsia have played like 3 tests in total. Janssen was disappointing. Lawrence Bailey, people need to understand the pitch was under covers for full days. The groundsman couldn't even roll the deck. He could only do this morning. Chill, people. Exactly. That's what I explained at the beginning of the show. I've already explained that at the beginning of the show. Matt says Century Newlands produced the best test wickets in South Africa. Lawrence says, I actually think the deck was a good contest between bat and ball. Do we want Rhodes? That's why I said it was a strong day one for test cricket. It provided a good showing for both sides, I think, and for the neutral. Lorenzo says our wickets are not that bad. Some people just like to overact. In India, teams get bowled out for 50 and no one complains. Pollock and Mark Nichols wouldn't dare criticize the Indian wickets. Navneet says, okay, people don't mindset movement or movement in general. But when bounce is so inconsistent on day one, it's dangerous for the players. The reason, I'm going to say it again, the reason is because the pitch was under covers for 2 days, sweating. They didn't have a chance to roll the pitch because of the weather conditions. What naturally happens is the pitch is going to be rolled out throughout the day as the sun bakes on it. The pitch is going to go under covers again, and we might not see much play tomorrow. So remember that. Then on Thursday, the pitch is going to bake majority of the time. That's why I said it's very important that South Africa bowl out India tomorrow and then bat as much as they can and survive for day two. Then come day three and put on the runs as fast as possible so that they can bring India into bat again to try and get the result. But it's looking more, according to the weather conditions, it's looking like this could possibly be more likely to get a draw unless South Africa be brave or India be brave with regards to a declaration or whatever the case may be. There was a lot of movement off the seam today, though. So it shows that if this pitch was rolled a bit and some sun baked on it, we're going to get a lot better wicket for batting, I think, personally. I'd rather have pitches like this than a flat wickets. Exactly. I agree with you over there with regards to that. So, guys, that's day one's review. Thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks a lot for commenting in the comment section. I really enjoyed chatting to you guys. This was the review for day one. We will be back again for day two to talk more about this particular match and see how it unfolds. One down to KG. Well done to KG for coming into the side again and then managing to obviously get his fifer. It's very important that we get that from him today. McMillan says Kushi was getting massive swing today. People want those boring drop out flat wickets in Australia. I'm sorry, but watching cricket, Australia is not what it was. I will take these wickets all day long, says Lorenzo. Let's have a listen quickly to what Kagiso Rabada had to say after the game. Seeing that I am still with you guys. We just got the audio released to us. So I'm just going to go get the audio quickly. Look at the pictures, at how dead the pitches are in Australia, Pakistan series, laugh out loud. Matt92, he says the toughest place to bat in tests. I think India is a lot more difficult. Pardon? South Africa, I mean, I don't think it was as bad as what it seems to be in the live chat. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. I think we did pretty well to get majority of India's batters out. We just allowed KL Rahul to take it away from us, and that is something that we need to learn how to fix. We constantly do this in all formats. Actually, we get teams in such difficult, dangerous situations in a match, and then we just allow things to slip away. It's almost like we lose a little bit of concentration. Nokia would have been class on the speech. Oh, he would have been absolutely brilliant on the speech today. Correction, Khalid. You meant Rolls Royce Rabada. Yeah, Rolls Royce Rabada. I'm messing that up. Rolls Royce. I'm just waiting for this this audio file, guys. Just bear with me. What do coaches do even? They do a lot. There's a lot that goes behind the tactics and preparing the players mentally and technically for certain conditions. And coaching. Gaurav says United losing today. Let's see later. We're in a terrible situation at the moment, United. Interested to see what Newlands will offer. Very interested to see. There has been some trouble with regards to the Newlands wicket and keeping it in check. I don't know where this is now at the moment. I'm waiting for this particular audio file. It hasn't come through yet. Sir Jim Radcliffe should come by 25% of CSA. No rain down here in Cape Town as it stands. Lawrence Bailey says 285 test wickets in 60 tests at an average of 22 and strike rate of 37. That's crazy good numbers. World class. It's world class. It's always been world class. Always been world class. I don't know what's taking so long with regards to this audio file. Katil says Cape Town consistently offers a good pitch with consistent movement and bounce, unlike Centurion and Joburg. Matt 92 says, wish we played more tests so that Rabada can get to 500 wickets. Yeah, that's a problem for South Africa, definitely. Is the amount of test cricket we play. We play way too little test cricket. It's a major problem for South Africa. Like Coach Shukri Conrad, he spoke about it as well. He mentioned things in his presser that I uploaded in the week. He spoke about the difficulty of let me just read it out to you guys. Okay, it wasn't because there's okay. He spoke about started off with Dean, right? And within that quote, he spoke about it. So he said it wasn't because there is only 4 test matches that Dean decided to retire. It was the conversation that Dean and I had. But the fact that we don't play a lot of test cricket is part of the reason why we arrived at the decision. Dean is still going to play first class cricket, yes. I think he has still a lot to offer in that space. Ideally, we would like to play more test cricket. The more test cricket we play, the more opportunities we've got to blood in young cricketers for the future. The less opportunities we have, like we currently do, I've got very little chance of blooding young cricketers. And sometimes decisions like with Dean now, we arrive at those decisions because of the lack of cricket and a lack of opportunities to blood young players. It's not an excuse. It is what it is. And we have to make do with what we got and still at every turn want to be not only competitive, but winning test series as well. So that is something that Shukri Khan spoke about, because it's easy, very important for us to blood youngsters into this team, but we don't get the opportunity with so many, so little test matches taking place. It's very unfortunate for South Africa that is the situation. We obviously would like to see South Africa get more opportunities to blooding young talent. Talking about SAA quickly, the SAA day one was rained out. So that's a little bit unfortunate as well. From an SAA India A perspective, we were obviously also hoping to keep an eye on that match to see how these youngsters do, because the team, to just to give you guys an idea, it's Matthew Brzezinski, Josh Richards, trying to read it in order: Johannes van Dijk, Kyle Zonder, Ryan Rickelton, Sinitembe Kashile. We've got Bjorn Fortuin. We've got Zubair Ramzo. Sorry, I forgot about Zubair. We've got Jason Smith. We've got Tsepo Moreke, Bjorn Fortuin, and Juan Olivier. So it is quite a decent lineup, this, and I think that it's quite a talented group of players over here. We're getting to see the next generation put up their hands and perform over here. So it's something that I'm hoping we're going to get to game time tomorrow, because for me, the SIA team, India A games are very important for South Africa when it comes to seeing how our youngsters handle the pressure, see how our youngsters perform against some of India's best, because India don't necessarily have a second team, really. I think everybody's knocking on that door for the first team, in my opinion. They have a great talent pool. Berger needs to stop smiling and look more angry when coming up against the batters. Good pace and good bowler, but too friendly. Chatil says SA have 10 tests next year, I think. Two versus West Indies outside WTC stuff. Matt92 says CSA needs to do more for test cricket in this country. I get the money the SA20 brings, but there needs to be a balance. Lana says, I think we're being but disingenuous when it comes to Dunde's performance today, myself included. He was quite good in his first day of Test cricket. Emphasis on the first day of Test cricket. Yes, that's why I was a bit quite shocked at the reactions about his performance. Unfortunately, Test cricket is all about the big three. You allow one player to get away from you, it can really harm you. Because majority of the day we were great, and then we just allow one person to really get stuck in and perform well. He did so last time at Centurion as well. We mustn't forget that. KL Rahul bats well at Centurion. Unfortunately, Test cricket is all about the big three. Kevin Peterson isn't impressed with Berger's body language on Twitter, said he smiles too much and is too nice, says Chatil. I saw the SAA versus India a live stream. It seems like Taiwan was called off due to wet outfit. Yep, it was. Okay, so let's see if I can get this audio playing.
Is it fair to say that kind of your experience came through today, that it was a sort of pitch where if you put it in the right areas, often enough, there was enough assistance there, and you just stayed in that area the whole day?
Yeah, I think that's what you try to do on any pitch that you play on. Get the ball in the right area. Yeah, that's all I tried to do today.
Pretty simple answer.
Can you break it down though for us? With you haven't played baseball cricket in a really long time. You had a bit of a heel injury, if I'm not mistaken. I could just rock up and take 5 wickets of boxing day. What processes do you go through to do that?
I was pretty focused in my training. I knew what I wanted to get out of my training, but I think days like that happen in cricket where sometimes you get the ball in the right area and you're not so successful. And today was just my day. Sometimes it just happens that way, but pretty happy with the way that I bowled.
Can you just and the rest of the lineup, are you happy with that way they went? You think India maybe should go away with something a little?
India, the quality batting lineup, with quite a bit of experience in their batting lineup. So 200 for 8, we would have taken that before the game started, and especially because we sent them into bat, we're happy with that. The other guys, Gerald, Nandre, and Marco, I think that they're magnificent bowlers. They're wicket takers. They've proven it. Nandre today, in his debut, picking up 2 quick ones as well. They have X factor about them, and bowling on a pitch like that is definitely going to assist them. The nice thing about Test cricket is they can have a second crack at it. All in all, I didn't think we bowled badly, but I think there is room for improvement.
Yeah, that's my exact assessment. I don't think we bowled badly, but there is improvement, particularly with keeping it in the good areas like KG did. That's what got KG success today, and we need to emulate that. The rest of the bowlers need to emulate that.
So when you bowl as well as you did today, does your body tell you that this is going to be a good day, or is there something in your mind, or is there some signal you get from yourself that okay, today it's going to work?
All week the ball's been coming out nicely, so I came into the match quite confident, and I'm just glad that all the focused work, the hard work, paid off. So yeah. My body was feeling good coming in. My mind was feeling good coming into this Test series. So hopefully, can continue.
KG, the Indian batting coach was talking about them being very aware of this plan to maybe try and get a few wickets down on the leg side, and I suppose we saw that in some of the field placings. Can you just talk about that in terms of the strategies of that type of bowling and even the legs that you guys have put today?
Seeing that we have two left armers in our attack, generally trying to swing the ball in, and with the bounce that was what you could extract out of the wicket, it seemed like that was a tactic to go at a time. But then after lunch, we readjusted and looked to bowl channel. Mainly, what would happen is Temba at the time, when he was still on, would have a gut feel about how the best way to get a wicket is, and normally it's the captain and the bowler who would be in those sort of discussions. But I guess, no, not I guess, it did make sense to have the leg slip. I mean, it almost worked to Virat as well, getting caught at he got dropped at square leg. So at the time, it's more of a gut feel thing to see how's the best way to get a wicket. But yeah, as you saw after lunch, we had to change tactics.
Yeah, and that's just logically to do with the pitch.
Considering the fact that the day was dominated by the ballers, how would you describe KL's innings?
Yeah, I thought he played well.
That was the problem today.
Yeah, he's a solid defense, and he also attacked us. His options were good. Yeah, he's a good player. He's done it time and time again.
And he's done it at Centurion.
And there's always going to be a batter who's going to stand out in an innings, and he was that for India.
And following on that, do you think that the same kind of assistance is expected on the day two as well?
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not there.
Well, maybe. Let's see.
Any further questions, Stu?
Yes, spot on, Lawrence. KG is spot on. We would have taken 208 for 8 before they won. But as he says, there is still room for improvement. Pratik's inexperienced bowling lineup as well. That does balance things out a bit. Yeah.
Kagiso, is it add to the expectation you have of yourself, you turn up, and conditions are the way they are, with the pitch could be helpful over any conditions, that you now expect, I've got to go out there and take 3, 4, or assuming you get 5.
I think I've always had that expectation to myself to bowl well. Right from the moment I started playing for South Africa, all I wanted to do is get wickets and be the best, or just do a job for the team. So nothing's changed over the years. My job is to bowl and get wickets, and it's not. I don't think the expectation is a burden. I don't think it's some heavy expectation that I have to do it. But I do put pressure on myself. I've always put pressure on myself, but in a good way, to do well for any team that I play for, in this case South Africa, and take wickets.
Yeah, so almost 9 years for South Africa, very close to 300 test wickets, but 500 wickets done for South Africa. So how do you feel about it?
Say again?
Close to 300 test wickets, but 500 wickets done for South Africa, including T20 and ODIs.
Oh,
How do you
yes.
feel about it?
Oh, yes. So the question is, how do I feel about it? How do I feel about that? Yeah, look, milestones are great, and that's why we play. When you're young, you want to become the best, and stats have stats are a description of how you play. They are a metric that measure your quality. But at the end of the day, you can't be too stats orientated. It's literally just about. I mean, you probably hear it all the time. You're going through your processes, and whatever happens next is out of your control. But hopefully I can get many more wickets for South Africa.
The last 3, but for those came and then back into the second.
Okay, you're getting a lot of love from Castle Corner there. They have some cool tunes going for you. We don't play a lot of test cricket at home in South Africa. Just what would that feel like to be in front of your home crowd and almost a full house? Just that kind of
Yeah, we love it. It's summer, cricket, summer vibes in South Africa. Cricket season is always awesome. Yeah, the guys come out and they absolutely love it. I'm not sure how many beers they were down, but I'm pretty sure they were down quite a few. Yeah, they're just having a great time at the crickets, and it's just so lovely to see. And yeah, like I had to pinch myself at a stage because it was basically a packed house. And the last time we played, yeah, we played a test match against the West Indies, but before that we played against India, and there was literally no one in the stands. And then the West
Because it was
Indies came,
COVID.
and it was nowhere near half half full, and now it was basically sold out basically. So it's great to see festive
That's
season in
brilliant to
South
see that.
Africa is fantastic,
Yeah.
and I felt that vibe in the stadium.
Back to full stadiums. Missed it.
Kaji, that beauty you got Virat Kohli out with, that must rank up there with one of your most memorable test deliveries, certainly.
Yeah, it just swung away late, and for some reason he just seems to cover those. Most of the time he seems to just play and miss or just cover that channel. He's a fantastic player. So when you play against him, you really have to be on. So I'm glad I got the fainty there. Um, uh, yeah, I'm just glad I got the fainty.
Thanks, did you have to conclude?
Well, you spoke about the youngsters being very X factor, and we've seen particularly someone like Marco putting explosive performance, but he just seems to be a little bit flatter than usual. Does you as the senior bowler decide part of your job just to go for your arm around and it'll be all right? Have you done that?
Yeah, 100%. That's what you do in a team environment. You want to encourage each other,
Yeah.
and certainly with Marco, it's just about getting him firing at his best again, and playing cricket, you know. Year in, year out. And it's very, very challenging, especially as a bowler playing at the highest level, because your intensity has to be up like all the time. All that with all the traveling mixed into that, it can be very, very exhausting. And sometimes when things are not going your way, you just have to ride it out and keep finding a way. And that's what he's doing. He's still doing a great job. And when he's on song, you know what he can do. So it's not far away. Um, the wheel turns. It's not far away.
And that's very great to hear from KG. I think we're a little bit too critical of our players when they go through bad patches. Cricket is a difficult sport. And if you're playing so much cricket all year round, consistently since his debut, he's been playing matches and not necessarily getting much rest. There is going to be certain situations that are going to take a toll on him. And we need to be equally cautious with our criticism with majority of our players, particularly the younger ones. They need our support because this isn't a very easy sport to play, and there's a lot of pressure on you consistently over and over again to try and perform. So we need to be a little bit less reactionary and trying to be supportive of our players when they go through difficult patches. It's important that we do so as a fan base to give these guys the right support. Um, Marco was very good for South Africa in a large portion of his career. Majority of his career, he's been great. He's going to be a period where he's going to dip a bit, and then he can come up, and then he'll rise again. I mean, he's still a very young bowler, and the amount of games he's played across formats has been quite a lot, including obviously IPLs. We mustn't forget that, and SA20, and all of those type of things in between. So let's just be a little bit more supportive of our players when they do go through difficult times. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos, please. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And don't forget about my announcement at the top of the show about our business corner. Please share this to as many entrepreneurs and businesses that you know. We market affordably and effectively to a cricket audience. And if you want to do so, then we are the only viable option for you. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Send all your friends and family that you know, or people that you know, or businesses that you know that want to market to a cricket audience to our way. We will do our utmost best to try and help them achieve their marketing goals. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of the festive period. Peace out.